Welcome to Seattle Maritime Works. Hi, I'm Ken Saunderson with the Seattle Propeller Club, and with me today is Grace Dollente, Youth Engagement Coordinator at the Urban League of Metropolitan Seattle. Hey, thanks for joining us today, Grace.
Thank you for having me, Ken.
Grace, why don't we start by having you tell us a little about the Urban League and what you do there?
The Urban League of Metropolitan Seattle is a nonprofit organization. And basically, what we do is we kind of focus on five different areas just within our community. So we have our workforce department, our education department, our advocacy and civic engagement department, housing, and public health. I'm a youth engagement coordinator currently working on our Youth Maritime Career Launch Program initiative contracted with the Port of Seattle.
As you just mentioned, the Youth Maritime Career Launch Program. Talk a little bit about that program, what it's all about, and your partners.
With the Youth Maritime Career Launch Program, we're connected with the Port of Seattle, and our partners that we currently have that we have subcontracted is Sound Experience, where they do the trainings with Sound Experience and do the maritime skills. We also have SPS, which is the Seattle Public Schools Skill Center, where they kind of help recruit our students, of course, as well as helping our students get into the maritime industry by going through the Maritime Skills Center classes that they offer at SPS. As well as we're partnered with Compass Courses to provide basic safety training, such as, getting their CPR certification, their basic firefighting, personal survival techniques. And initially with the program, we are trying to get more youth and young adults, especially youth of color, into the industry and get them permanent employment right afterwards after the 3-month internship with a maritime employer. A part of just, being in the program, we also just provide wraparound support to our students to kind of help them get any certificates that they need or any credentialing that they need in order to complete their 3-month internship, but also kind of help them guide to get that permanent employment right afterwards.
What a terrific program. You work quite closely with a lot of the maritime businesses. Talk a little bit about that relationship, who you're looking for, additional opportunities there, and also some of the logistical questions that businesses may have, such as, how do you deal with the intern management, insurance, TWIC cards, and other administrative aspects?
A couple of our partners that we had last year were Washington State Ferries. We also had Center for Wooden Boats. We had CSR Marine. Gosh, we had multiple partners that were from the maritime industry, of course, and we it was great to partner with them, and it was amazing to, it was some of them, it was their first time hosting an intern. And of course, with, management of interns, we do provide like DEI trainings, of course, to kind of know how it works to host an intern or working with youth of color in the industry, of course. With like their TWIC cards and any other credentialing, such as like their MNC, that is a process that we do with the students. So we have, we do a lot of engagement with the employers and kind of, connecting with them to kind of see what are the things that are needed for our interns, such as, getting their credentials, or any other requirements so that they can fulfill, that credential prior to going into their internship, just so that they have it on hand, on deck already. And by the time that after they're done with their 3-month internship, they already have that already and then can work with that maritime employer. So we do that whole processing with them. So it's no out of cost pocket for the students or the employers at all, while we are in partnership with with the maritime employers and the students.
Boy, it sure sounds like you make it easy for employers to participate, Grace. That's awesome. Hey, are you still looking for employers to work with going forward?
Yeah, most definitely. We're looking for more employers to kind of, be engaged in this process of what we're trying to do to kind of, engage more folks into the maritime industry, and to, get the workforce a little bit bigger. And I know, within the next couple of years, I know a lot of people are retiring, and there's going to be more and more jobs available within the next couple of years. So, trying to get more youth and young adults into the industry and getting that making our community aware of this industry and how much money you can be making in the long term. Definitely, we want more employers to be a part of our program, to host more interns, to definitely give them the opportunities to get in these entry level jobs.
It is a tremendous opportunity, Grace. You touched on this a little bit earlier, but I'd like to explore a little bit more in depth. Why did the Urban League of Metropolitan Seattle set up this program?
Yeah, so they had actually had this program prior to me coming here. So they already had, signed a contract, of course. But, I think with the maritime industry, like I said, it keeps on growing every year. And there's going to be more and more jobs available. I think, with the Urban League wanting to do this program, I think we were trying to get more youth of color to kind of diversify the maritime industry a little bit more here in Washington. And most definitely, a lot of folks are putting a lot of money into, the maritime industry, to kind of, have that workforce be a little bit bigger, of course, to kind of get more young adults into the industry and things like that. So I think, we definitely wanted to have this program here at Urban League so that we can have more young adults, especially youth of color, into the industry to diversify the maritime industry.
It is a terrific opportunity, Grace. I love your energy. I love your passion. Why are you excited about the future of the maritime industry, particularly for youth of color?
Yeah, I'm very excited to get more youth of color into the industry because it is a high paying job. There are a lot of jobs available. And what really excites me is, definitely for me, I'm very passionate about helping youth to kind of guide them to, different pathways, but also, getting them into the pathway in the maritime industry because you could do so many things. You can work yourself up the ladder with just the experience that you have and the people that you know. And with the maritime industry, of course, it's generational wealth. Like you can definitely work your way up, and definitely we want our youth to be aware of these different opportunities, of course, and to give them a little bit more knowledge and letting them know, hey, I could see myself doing this one day, and just being exposed to the industry and just letting our youth know, like, hey, this is a possibility. And they could sometimes some of these youth don't really see themselves doing anything, and being able to connect with them and giving them these opportunities. I'm super excited to kind of guiding them into the maritime industry to see the different opportunities there is for them to do.
It really is a tremendous opportunity. Hey, thanks for joining us today, Grace.
Yeah, no, thank you, Ken. Thank you for having me. It was a really great kind of, explaining what we do and what our program is and what we're trying to do for our future, generation for folks to get into the maritime industry.